Because we have, we have a lot of things planned for this year that are, outside of Japan. Not spoiling anything more than just that, but I'm hoping that I get to interact with people again.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing, because the convention, I miss the vibe of conventions. I didn't realize how much I missed it until you couldn't go to it anymore.
Right.
I just missed that whole convention vibe and just the positive, the positive air and the positive attitude. And just, having fun for a weekend.
Yeah. I just love that, that the ambience of a convention hall, of just the low murmur everywhere, and it's
excited.
It's like everyone's just there and excited, and it's like you can feel the hype. I
love the energy.
Room, and it's
it smells.
I was gonna say I didn't think I would miss the smell of stale sweats that you smell in the convention
hall.
Speak for
yourself. I don't miss that shit. God.
I miss it I don't miss it. I just miss that reminds me that I am at a convention, and this is the smell of a convention.
When you walk into a clean room and you're like, damn it, man. it ain't that AX smell though. It ain't that AX
The air's too clean now.
It's too clean right now.
It definitely ain't the gaming area.
Nah. There's not enough precipitation in the air. There's not enough gamer precipitation in the air.
Man, I just miss it so much. Man. So especially when you get those it'll be a few months or even a year later, and someone will say they'll be like, oh, I met Connor at X and X. He was so nice, and I'm like, oh, that makes my day, man. Even though that might become a meme now. Someone will be like, I met Connor at his Twitch chat. He was so nice. He called me an idiot. I don't know. I like being a dick online, but then in person, I'm like, oh man, I just want to be nice to everyone.
I want the opposite of that, to be like, oh, I met Joey at a con. He was so nice.
I have had.
Unsubscribed.
I think I've had that one time actually.
What?
Someone was like, "Oh, Connor was so rude" or something, and I'm like, I don't think I was. I rarely would be rude. I could scarcely be rude to myself, let alone someone else.
I'm only rude to my best mates.
That's
basically it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to, if you're being ushered to somewhere,
of course,
you have to be like. Sometimes people will start like, "Oh, Joe, can I take a picture?" And they'll be like, "Oh, well, I can't right now. Actually, I have to go." Somewhere.
Well, there's only one of me, and many people who,
sometimes
thankfully want to
hang
out with me.
I hate being like, "No, I can't take a picture."
Yeah. I want to.
Yeah.
But handlers and staff and whatnot, and
1% problems, eh?
Yeah.
Living a good life.
Duty calls, sometimes.
Oh God, it's so hard. Just people wanting to take a photo with me. God. I
can't imagine.
What do I do with all this attention?
I'm very grateful. I'm very
Connor,
grateful.
You've changed. You've changed, Connor.
I fell off.
L plus ratio.
Man.
Before you moved to Japan, did you guys get called out by your username or by your real names? Did anyone actually call you by Connor?
I was always
Joey?
Sea-Dog or Sebastian occasionally. Remember
they were like, yo, Sebastian?
Yeah, remember that one time we were in Little Tokyo, right? Yeah. We were in LA in Little Tokyo. And we were chilling, and then we were all about to we were done with our delicious. I think I didn't even have Japanese food. I remember I had bibimbap, which is Korean.
It was the Korean barbecue place, right?
Yeah. So we were leaving, and it was good. We were all chatting, and some girl screamed like, "Sebastian!" And I was like, and I was really just embarrassed because you guys were fucking laughing at me because they called me Sebastian.
because it was that moment of we all turned around and we were like, oh, I wonder which Sebastian. Oh,
and Connor's just like.
This is in the period where I was trying my goddamn hardest to get away from it. So it was a reminder.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
But no, I don't care. If someone did it, you can call me Sebastian.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
I think for me, I think it happened early on where of course people at first were calling me Anime Man or whatever, but I think from really early on, because too many people were getting my usernames wrong. Yeah. And also the fact that I didn't like my username.
What were they calling you then if it was wrong?
Oh, there was Anime Guy, Anime Dude.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Every time I hang out, I was next to Joey, I swear he would get Anime Man maybe only 70% of the time.
Yeah, if that.
There's been so many variations
How is it that
of your
hard
name.
to remember?
But there were people who would get my actual name wrong as well. I've been called John. I've been called the one that I couldn't fucking believe, and I remember to this day, was at Otakuthon. Some dude legit came up to me and said, "Hey, Josh."
With 100% confidence.
With 100% confidence. And I was
respect to that guy.
I was like, I couldn't even like be, you know, I couldn't be like, it's Joey, because I was actually just dumbfounded. I'm like, you did not just fucking call me that.
Do you not like Josh? Do you have a vendetta against Josh?
No, nothing against Josh. I've got mates called Josh, but I'm not Josh.
Why did the name Josh specifically annoy you more than John?
I think it's because there's only ever been that one guy who called me Josh.
Watch it now. Next day X or whatever, you're going to be Josh the anime guy.
I understand, you know, like anime guy or like anime dude or, you know, like a different derivative of the word man, right? Because it's a pretty, you know, it's a pretty generic name, right?
I don't know. The anime man's pretty fucking easy.
Well, I'd like to think so, but
actually, like, I think I've gotten people have gotten my name, like my internet handle, like wrong almost as much times if they've got it right.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I mean, I think the biggest thing is obviously people think my name's Gig UK.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I love you, I love it, I love your work, Gig UK, and I'm just like, how long have you been watching my stuff?
I think YouTube should implement those pronunciation brackets that they have on those like Merriam dictionary.
They need like the Google Translate, like say the word.
Is my name that hard to pronounce? Because I swear I've had so many mispronunciations of my name, and it doesn't even piss me off. I just find it funny. Right?
Yeah.
I don't ever say anything. I'm just like, whatever. We'll just.
Well, at least yours is just a mispronunciation. Mine is literally just not the correct word.
Josh.
Yeah. Like there's only so many ways you can, like, I didn't know you could pronounce man as dude. Or guy.
I think it's just because I've just like my entire life is a mispronunciation of my name. Like, I'm just fucking used to it. I think the weirdest mispronunciation of my real name actually was actually when I was in university. So I remember in university, in Freshers Week especially, you meet a lot of new people very, very quickly, okay?
Yeah.
And obviously, as you all know, Gant is not a common name at all.
Right.
And, you know, so I've heard like every fucking mispronunciations of my name by then. And I remember like my first day of uni, I heard a new one, right? So I go up to a person and I say, hi, my name's Gant, thinking they say, Grant? Or you know, Garnet, or one of like something like that, which that happens a lot. Garnet happens a lot.
Really?
Yeah. And he goes, God? Your name's God? And I'm like, what? How did you mishear that? How did you mishear that? No, it's Grant. It's not fuck. I almost said fuck. Fuck. I almost said Grant. It's Gant.
It's been
Gant.
confirmed. It's canon.
It's gone. It's gone. Because how I explain it, it's gone. Think of Hugh Grant, but swap the R and the A over. So that's gone. And you know, that's how I like speed run
your name.
explaining my name.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, Gant. And I'm thinking in my head, what a fucking dumbass. How would you hear God from Gant, right? That's just like the anomaly. He is the glitch in the matrix. And then literally like 2 people later, right? I'm like introduce myself. And so like later in the day, I say, hi, my name's Gant. And the second time, God? Your name's God? I'm like, what the fuck what is going on? What is going on right now?
It would be a very bold move of a parent to name their kid God. It's a very bold name. You got to have high hopes for that kid.
And I remember somehow in Freshers Week, even though I did introduce myself to a lot of people within that short time frame, like probably more than I have in my life in that like 1 week or 2 period, 3 people thought my name was God when I first introduced myself. I just like it blew my fucking mind.
I just love it when like people just absolutely butcher my name in ways that I just like wasn't expecting. I think that is like my favorite thing ever. Just like having now that I am like this public figure where like, you know, even like my full name is like public now, right? Like, oh my God, I don't think there hasn't been a single person who's pronounced my surname correct.
Really?
It's the first time.
Not that hard.
Yeah, it's Bissinger, right? But like my favorite was the fucking FCCJ panel that we did. And the guy, I think the guy called me something like, and here at the end of the table is Joey, the anime Bazinga. I'm like, first of all, you forgot the man. Second of all, I did an interview with you.
You should be the anime.
Yeah.
The anime.
The anime.
Yeah.
The
anime. Joey, the
drop
anime.
Drop the man, drop
Bazinga.
the dude, drop the guy. The anime.
The anime. I am anime.
You are the anime. Not the man, the anime.
I think what I loved about that live stream with FCCJ is when he was introducing my name, and like I remember he like introduced you, he introduced Connor, and then I think he got to me, and I remember, and I could see the fucking word processing in his mind, and there was like this brief pause before he said my name, and it was like I remember like the chat going, he's gonna say Grant, he's gonna mispronounce it, and I remember it was just like a slight pause, but that felt like an hour, you know. That felt like an entire Death Note scene, that fucking pause, man.
You could have edited in like the AOL loading sounds like into it,
Just
right?
like the fucking JoJo, boom, and then 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Has anyone ever mispronounced Sea Dog or gotten your internet handle wrong?
No,
Well, your surname is pretty
Sea-Dog's-
difficult to pronounce.
my surname, but I don't
Also,
even...
Sea Dog is very easy as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sea Dogs. I'm really glad I chose that. I mean, we
Yeah.
said this before, right?
Smart
It's
move.
an easy.
Smart move.
Unintentionally, I chose it to sound cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't actually sound that cool. But now everyone just calls me Connor, so that's easy.
Yeah, well, that's what I like about Trash Taste is that now we're just known as Joey, Grant, and Connor.
Yeah.
You know?
I have a request to anyone watching this who will meet us in conventions. I know Grant is a meme, and it doesn't piss me off when people call me Grant.
Where are you going
But
with this?
please call me Gant, because it will get to a point where I literally will not know if you just don't know who I am, or you're part of or you're a Trash Taste viewer. So please, at least call me Gant the first time before you start memeing it up. Otherwise, I would genuinely not know, like if you just are that deep into the Trash Taste lore, or if you just genuinely think my name's Grant. Like I genuinely won't be able to tell the difference.
Likewise with me, you know, Josh is not my name.
It is.
John is also
It is
not
now.
my name.
I've seen his birth
It is.
certificate.
If you call him Josh now, everyone's gonna know that you watched this episode of Trash Taste.
Oh God! Wait, how come I'm not allowed to get away with it, but you are? What the fuck?
Yeah, Gant's like, don't do this to me, but do it to Joey. It's really
Yeah, don't do it to me.
funny. Don't do the
Do
exact
it as
same
long
thing.
as it's not to me.
Yeah. Bully Joey, just
Bully
please
Joey, just don't bully me.
Wow.
I'm begging you.
I can't believe it. So rude.
People just spell my name incorrectly. That's all. People don't say it wrong.
Well, I mean, there's only so many ways you can fucking pronounce Connor.
Yeah, oh, it's all Connor.
Yeah.
Conair, maybe that's all.
Con Air.
Con Air.
Con Air.
I think
My
that's
favorite movie.
yeah, I think that's a movie. Right?
Great movie. Great movie. And
My,
it's
my
an honor.
favorite Nicolas Cage movie.
It's an honor to be confused with Connor.
Con Air.
Fantastic movie.
That sounds like the cursive Connor, you know?
Yeah.
Con Air.
Just like
it
if
does.
Sebastian pronounces Connor.
Maybe.
That's what you should be like. If someone at a convention stops you, being like, "Hey, Sebastian," they should be like, "It's Con Air."
I never saw in my life until like I got on the internet that you could spell Connor with an ER.
Connor.
Connor.
Connn.
Yeah, I mean,
ER. I never saw that. There was a friend of my school who was called Connor, but it was spelled Connah.
Connor.
Yeah,
Connor.
Connor.
Connor. Connor.
Because there's
That's the Australian spelling for it.
Because there was also a place near me that was called Connor something.
Right.
But it was spelled that way.
That is like a very phonetic Connor, isn't it? Oi, Connor.
It's like Connor.
Connor.
Connor,
Connor,
mate.
mate.
Yeah, Connor.
It was interesting because I was like, am I the weird? No, I've got the normal. I have the
Yeah,
normal
yours is the
Connor.
normal one.
I have
Yeah.
the normal
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Connor. I'm pretty sure. I am the real one. This is all a joke. You're all lying. None of you are the real Connor.
What is the like? Who is the person who had the weirdest name that you knew personally in your life?
What do you judge as weird? Like obscure or just
Okay,
like
so
why would you choose
For
that?
me, I knew a guy in my school whose real name was Gamarin.
Gamarin.
Yeah, not Cameron, Gamarin with a G.
I kind of like that.
That
I
sounds
thought it
cool.
was fucking cool.
That sounds cool.
But it's just like in my head, I was like, first of all, where does that come from? And second of all, was like their parents' handwriting so shit at the birth certificate that the doctor was like, "Oh, that's an interesting way to spell Cameron."
There was a kid from another school. I always was so jealous. They'd called their kid Zeus.
Zeus.
Was his first name.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I was like God. And I was like, again, the problem with really fucking badass names is that if you don't live up to a badass name, looks pathetic. Like imagine like you're like a kind of like super shy person. You're like,
Yeah.
what's your name? Oh, it's Zeus. So it's like you need to be larger than life if you're called
Yeah.
Zeus, right?
That's like in school when you had that like one surname. Like, you know, I knew a guy whose surname was Champion.
oh,
And unfortunately,
was he a champion?
Unfortunately, no.
Wow.
He didn't quite live up to his
At least it was a
surname.
surname though.
Yeah.
Because if it's your first name, everyone's calling you it.
Oh,
Bro,
right, exactly.
the parents must have been confident. They'd be like,
Yeah.
you better live up to this name or you're a failure.
You are a
They
literal
they
champion.
must have gone to like the sperm bank, got the highest grade sperm. They're like 9-foot guy, went to Harvard, 10,000 IQ. They're like, this guy's a Zeus from 100%.
Was it actually spelt like the god?
Yeah, exact same
Oh
way.
my god. That's so badass.
And I remember because I threw javelin against him and I
Yeah.
beat him, and I was like, I beat Zeus in javelin.
That's so ironic.
And I was like, this is amazing. I was like, this is great. I beat Zeus. At the time I didn't care though, but
Yeah,
now I'm like, I beat Zeus at javelin. You know, it's not a
No biggie.
It's not a big deal,
Pretty
but
shit.
it is. But it is.
Yeah, one of my mates who used to live here in Japan, Australian guy, his real full name was Storm Angus.
That
And I
is
was like,
the most Australian
that
name
is the-
I've ever heard.
that is the most badass. And when he introduced himself as that, I was like, no, you're not.
That's just an Australian superhero name, right?
Look, it's Storm Angus.
Oh yeah, fucking
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Sounds like a superhero.
It like shoots down lightning. Like, yeah.
He just throws down like Foster's or something.
Oh my god.
Love you, Storm. Oh my god.